Hello and welcome to March West Junction TMD. Today I'm going to show you a cheap and easy way to weather your rolling stock with this rust effect that I picked up from the Warley Model Railway Club, and all it will be using is some Vallejo paint sponged on and some pastels that are ground up to make weathering powders, and then some other Vallejo mixed with water to give it a wash over afterwards to seal it all in. And there's no airbrush used at all in this, so because I don't own one, so it's just a different way of doing weathering, and this way also gives you a nice little texture to the actual rust. So sit back and enjoy, and thank you very much for stopping by. I'll hand you over to the workbench. Okay, I've got the wagon on the bench. The wagon in question is one of these Hornby wagons that I picked up from, I think it was, I wasn't sure if it was eBay or a show, and I paid a couple of quid for it. It's probably the Stafford show. And what I intend to do, like I said at the intro, is have a look at weathering this, just to see how it comes out with this weathering technique that I've picked up from my colleagues at Warley Model Railway Club. So the first thing we need to do is get these wheels off and the couplings. As you can see, part of the couplings just already dropped off there. Let's pop the wheels out. Okay, I'll leave it on the chassis because I want to weather it as well and see how that comes out with the weathering technique that I'm going to try. So next I'll show you the items that I'm going to use to weather this wagon. Okay, this is some of the items that I'm going to use. At the bottom here we've got a pastel set, and I'll be using these four colours at the end here, which has got like a sandy orange colour, a brown, which is a bit like a muddy brown, there's a red and a black. Then I've got these makeup applicators that I bought from, I think it was the Coventry show, this was, Toy Fair, for a quid, as you can see, for 12 applicators, which are just the ones that your partner will have for doing the makeup, or daughters. And then I've got this old washing up sponge. I've took the coarse bit off, and we'll be using that to sponge some of the paint on. And then I've got these two colours here, which is 70941 burnt umber. 148 is the other number that sometimes people use on the rack. And and then we've got this one, 70982 Kevlar brown, and it's 137, that number. These will be doing the main rust colours on the model. And then I got these two colours, which is 70862 black grey, number 168, and 70992 a neutral grey, which is other numbers 160. These I'll be using to make a wash, just to wash over the wagon, as you'll see as I go through the process. And other items you'll need is a paintbrush and some water with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. So let's get on, and I'll show you how I start weathering the wagon. Okay, we're going to start adding the paint to the wagon, and I've made a little mix up here using the two Vallejo colours, which is the burnt umber and the cavalry brown. Now what we need to do is tear up our sponge, so just tear it off randomly, and the idea is to get different patterns of sponge and then just dab it in and the colours ain't fully mixed. They're just, if you look, they're just a bit of browns, two different colours, and then just dab it all over the wagon randomly. Mixing the colours up as you go. And remember to do the underframe as well. Change the sponge every now and then to get a different pattern. Probably need a bit more paint in here. The idea is to get a different mix of the two colours. And what I do on the underframe, just to give it a bit better coverage, because it's hard to get in with the sponges, use one of these makeup applicators and try and get in some of the nooks and crannies. Again, trying to be a bit random. I think that should just about do it. Now the one thing I need to do is just to show a bit of the data panel still. So I'll try and remove a bit of the excess paint off there and this line here. Just try and make out that that's still there, sort of thing. By removing a bit of the excess, not all of it, because you still want to show that it's going rusty. Same with the numbers there. I think that'll about do it. Right, the next stage is to use your weathering powders while the paint's still wet, that I've created using the pastel colours, and we just dab those on randomly again, mix them a little bit. And this is what will give you the texture over the model. Mix these colours a little bit. So hopefully you can see that we've got quite a bit of powdery texture on the actual wagon body. And this is why you do this when the paint's wet, so it's got something to stick to as well. And what we need to do now is just to let that dry, and then we can look at doing the wash over the top of it. Okay, the next thing we're going to do now is put this wash on the wagon. And if you remember, I've used the black grey and just one little drop of this neutral grey, and added water with a tad of washing up liquid just to break down the surface tension. And then what we need to do is just brush lightly down, but make sure it's in downward strokes, because that's what the rain would do, over the wagon. And what this does as well, it seals some of that powders, because otherwise they'll come off in your hands. You just lightly do it over. Do underneath as well. Try and dab a little bit of the excess off there, just so you can see a bit of the numbers. And again, what we'll do now is just leave that to dry. Okay, the wagon's now dried. Now, I just want to point out, I'm not a highly skilled modeller. I found this method really simple, and I think anyone could really do this, as long as you just got the right paints, pastels, and a bit of water and an old sponge from out the kitchen. Now this is the body side finish. Now if I do a close-up of that, if you just zoom in, if you look, you get all these little lumps where the rust is bubbling up, and I think the effect is fantastic. It's better than like what you get on the Batman where it's just painted. It has actually got some definition to it. I mean, you can go lighter, you can go over the top, but I think it looks absolutely brilliant. Other people disagree and they'll say, oh, you know, I can do better, but I'm an amateur at this. This is my first ever attempt at weathering, and I think it's come out pretty well. When I turn the wagon over, because obviously I haven't done the other sides, as you can see, that's what you start off with, and that's what it finishes like. What I've also done, I've used some of the burnt umber just to paint the wheels, just to get some of that blackened colour off them, so they'll look a bit better underneath. And all we need to do now is do the rest of the body on the other three sides, and also we've got to remember we've got to do the inside as well. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, just showing you a simple technique on how to weather your wagons. I don't think it's very expensive. You've just got the outlay of the paints. I mean, the pastel chalks were, I think they were either £1 or £2 from one of those pound stores, because now they don't do everything for £1. They'll go up to about £15, some of the stuff in there, so they've changed a bit. And the makeup applicators, you either nick them from your other half, or like I say, I bought that pack of 12 for £1 from one of the toy fairs. So there's not much required, and not much expense to achieve this sort of effects on a wagon. Okay, that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'd like to say a big thank you to the guys at the Warley Model Railway Club for their tips and ideas. I've only been with the club for about a month and we're working on a big project, and the experience and the knowledge the guys have got are second to none, and it's well worth joining the club. Now at the moment they're doing a promotion where you can join for 6 months on a trial membership for £40, which is an absolute bargain, and then after that, if you stay on and you still want to continue with the club, the membership is just under £10, £9 something a month, which is a couple of quid a week. So it's what, half a pint of Peroni if you're lucky. Probably won't even get half a pint of Peroni these days. So it's well worth joining the club, or having a look into joining anyhow. And obviously they've got their Warley show coming up towards the end of the year, which will be at the NEC, and they'll have their summer open day as well, so pop along to the summer open day. If you go onto their website, they'll give you details of the summer open day and the actual Warley show. So like I say, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed making it, something different. If you're not a subscriber, then please hit the subscribe button. It helps to grow the channel, and don't forget to like and share with your friends. I found this really easy to do. Like I say, I'm not a professional modeler, and it's quite an easy way and a cheap way really of getting your old wagons looking quite good. So thank you again for stopping by, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.